Just letting you know, for a moment, they brought '90s girl pop Corey out for a minute. You know, I used to listen to all that shit. I was almost, I was this close to wearing a sundress with a flower in my ear. Listen to this shit. So Christian was looking for stuff to talk about today, and he said, I'm looking at a lot of things, and one of the biggest things that is trending out there is Taylor Swift. And I thought about maybe bringing it up, but then I said nah, and I said, please, Corey, don't make me talk about Taylor Swift. And to which my response was, that's a good idea. Let's talk about Taylor Swift. Let's just bring this up real quick, man. Taylor Swift. She dropped a new album, but listen, I'm not gonna sit up here and try to pretend or act like, and y'all even know I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. I don't have anything against her. I've heard a couple of songs that I like, but am I out there buying albums every time she drops one? Am I out there, am I part of the fan club? Am I doing Taylor Swift cosplay during Halloween and shit? Nah, at the Taylor Swift convention? No. I'm not, I can't say that I'm a big fan. But I think it's interesting what she's done with this album. Because, and you have a different angle approach to what you've heard about this album than I do. Because I didn't even look at this until I listened to it until everybody was making a big deal about it. Because, well, I like music, man. I give all music a chance too when I hear something getting great reviews. But the thing with Taylor Swift, man, is that I was kind of turned off a little bit by Taylor Swift. I was never really into Taylor Swift, but I was like, all right, the song is all right, and and stuff she's putting out is okay. But she's one of those people that just didn't go pop. She went like uber pop. She went blockbuster pop.
Yeah.
She was like she was almost like the little country girl that went to the big city with a guitar and then just started doing cocaine and hanging out with all the crazy people and just blew the up. And, because I look at her stuff got overproduced. She, like I said, simple pop roots, but her shit got way overproduced, man. It wasn't enough to just make a song. Everything had to be an event. Videos couldn't just be videos. They had to be action movies where she's beating the shit out of people. Coming in and cracking necks. Guest stars in there, it's all about A-list names now. Okay, it's like, finally somebody gonna sing? Is this a Michael Bay movie or is this a music video?
She's trying to harken back to the good old days where Michael Jackson could do like a 27-minute bad video where half of it's not even a song. I don't know, man. I've never seen that before, and actually I'm mad at you because I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I don't want to talk about her because I don't know anything about Taylor Swift. I generally recognize that she's cool. I like some things that I've heard.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, man, that made me actively dislike her, that video you just showed me.
Yeah. I think even the people in the video didn't like her. I think they got tired of it. They're like, what, this bitch is not going to sing until I kick her ass out a window. Okay, that's what it took. Kick your ass out of a building for you to start singing.
Listen, that double cross was unscripted. They just got really sick of her shit on the set and they kicked her out of a window.
Yeah, he said, I'm sick of your shit. We were cool before, but goddamn, I came here to listen to a Taylor Swift song. Again, it was not enough to just make Taylor Swift pop music. It was not enough to just do a video. She had to have cross appeal now. It's like, let's just not bring in pop superstars, but let's bring in, let's have cross appeal with the hip hop people out there. Bringing in Kendrick Lamar.
Hey, I can't take it back. Look where I'm at.
All the trendy people out there, Lena Dunham and shit. Everybody's sick of her ass too. It's like, man, this is where you were somebody who started out kind of simple, hit it big, and then you got all the money to bring in all these big producers and everything. But anything from big producers for videos to your music, and it became overproduced. Everything had to be an event. So she drops this new album, Folklore. And you look at it and she's like, apparently she took some mushrooms and started walking through the woods and shit. And it's like, all right, well, this already looks a little pared down, a little drawn back. I have to say, man, I listened to some of it because, like I said, I do like music of all kinds, and this was getting great reviews. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and check it out for myself. She put out the video for the first single, and I can't play a lot of songs because you know how everybody's so touchy about copyright with music. So I'll play just a little bit of it. She put out a single, Cardigan.
When you are young, they assume you know nothing.
And then I went to Spotify, listened to the rest of that, and I'd be damned if I wasn't hooked listening to the rest of the album, man. I'm not jumping on any kind of bandwagon with Taylor Swift. I'm not sitting up here, trying to get clicks and views because she's trending right now. But I honestly got to say, this album, man, look, if you're not into, like, and the name of the album's Folklore, and it is very folky in a way. If you're not into, like, kind of that more quiet, folky kind of pop, then that's not for you. Her music's not for everybody. Every genre is not for everybody. But as somebody who listens to a lot of music of all different genres, that album's great, man. I don't even want to say that because it's like I feel like I ain't got no street cred, but what last bit of street cred I had just got snatched from me right there. That album is great, man. That album is really good. You got to keep in mind that I'm the kind of in the 90s Christian. I was that black kid that was, because I love the golden age of hip hop. You know that.
Yeah.
And you and I've talked about that. But I was that black college guy that, I was listening to hip hop. I had my windows rolled down so everybody could see that, yeah, I got my black card. I'm good. And then I go home and I listen to all these female pop and folk artists and whatnot. I was like a huge fan of Tori Amos. I even went to see Tori Amos.
Tori Amos, Amy Mann, some of those people. Yeah,
man, Amy Mann is one of them. But the album took me back to like these folky pop female artists from the 90s, man, that I used to listen to all the time. She kind of brought that sound back, like Sean Colvin from 1997. Everybody remember that song, Sonny came home in the kitchen.
Sonny sat down in the kitchen.
That and like Lisa Loeb, like if you combine people like Sean Colvin and Lisa Loeb together, because if everybody remember that song, Stay. Everybody used to they didn't even know the chick's name. They just said, oh, that nerdy girl singing songs while she's running through her house.
And I thought what I felt was simple, and I thought that I don't belong.
She took it back to that level with her album, man, and so it appealed to me on that because I was listening to this shit all the time at home when nobody was watching. But I was.
I was just gonna say, I just had a flashback to college Corey, just getting his heart broken. He's sitting in a car crying, listening to that song, and I gotta tell you, you're adorable, Corey. That's the cutest you've ever been.
No, I listen to. One of the things that I love in music, I love female vocalists of all types. Anywhere from R&B to ambient and electronic and all that. And so when listening to Taylor Swift with this, man, and bringing back those vibes of artists that I used to listen to in the 90s, early 2000s, I was really impressed, man. I hadn't listened to an artist, or female artist, in the whole album in a long time with music that appealed to me, but this one did.
When you are young, they assume you know nothing.
Like I said, man, it's not everybody's thing, and I'm not trying to encourage everybody to listen to it, but people have asked me to start a music show, which that'll be really hard now that you can't play anything unless you're taking a risk doing it and getting a DMCA takedown. But everybody knows I listen to all kind of music, and so for those people who this would appeal to, that's a really good album, man. I would recommend it.
Yeah, so I listened to the first 3 songs. I'm actually really glad I didn't listen to that song first because my wife heard that song first and I didn't like it. I had listened to just in order. And it's really solid. It's hard to explain because it seems like it was written in quarantine. So your big problem with it, which is the over-popification, the overproduction of it, is not a thing here. It's really bare bones. Like what I like about that first song specifically, it's called The One, I think. I think it's just 3 chords the entire song, and they build some kind of symphonic thing around it.
Yeah.
In that way, dude, I totally agree with you. Like I've never been like a huge fan because I've always said, oh, that's not really for me. But then like, no, I like singer-songwriters. I like low-key understated things. So like, why isn't this for me? I think that she gets a lot of fucking hate for the usual reasons that any successful woman gets hate. But it seems like it doesn't matter if she had a privilege or opportunity to get in there. She writes a lot of her own shit. She co-wrote everything with collaborators, obviously. I think she's talented, man. I don't understand why people try to go to hate her immediately.
Yeah, and a lot of people are putting a lot of musicians down from the 90s that does remind me of, because I can't play everything, but people like, you name Amy Mann, Suzanne Vega, I even say just a little bit. Nora Jones is a little more bluesy and country, but Nora Jones, I just what it is about Taylor Swift and this album, man. I'm with all this shit that she was doing with with her music. I'm not saying that none of this is good. I thought you go through all the motions of your career. You start out small. If you are fortunate enough to get big, you go through superstardom and you do the motions with that. The music gets slicker. It gets broader. You try to appeal to more people. It just seemed like, a lot of this was with producer and studio decisions. This is her going off and writing an album, man, and being pretty, it seems like, just being more honest with it. And that's one of the things I like about an artist. I like when an artist grows, man. There's a certain level of maturity in this album that I thought was really due for somebody of her talent. So, I'd say just put all your kind of prejudices aside and give it a listen. Again, if it's your thing. If it's not, then don't waste your time. But if you like music of all types, or you even like her, definitely give it a listen, man. It's definitely a maturing of an artist that we're witnessing with this album right here.
Also, subject matter wise, I've heard it's kind of her most overtly political thing, which I think that's something you can rightfully come at her for. For the longest time, she stayed on the sidelines of political issues, and recently she's kind of bucked that. But I think it's interesting, in the middle of a pandemic, she wrote this whole thing, I think, only since April, which how music works. It usually takes a lot longer to write an album. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting that, like, I don't want to be like a cynic and be like, oh, she's capitalizing on a moment. I think it's really easy to fall into cynicism. It's possible people just grow. Like, the music's grown, her songwriting's grown. Why can't she as a person grow? I don't get all the haters, man. I get not being 100% in the music, because I don't really like all the music, but like, I don't have any inherent dislike of her. And from what I've heard, it's really solid.
Yeah, it is. I'll play that song because I did think that the Cardigan is the video that they put out, the video single that they put out, but the one that really is good, man.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
See, this shit, I'll be in a room crying because I just went through a breakup, or some girl turned me down, and I'm too sensitive to take it, so I'm sitting in a room with candlelights and tears coming out my eyes and shit. I thought I saw you at the bus stop, I didn't. Somebody in the chat said crying ass. Yeah, it's be in my room just saying, bitch, losing my shit. But yeah, man, again, I'm not talking to everybody. I'm just talking to anybody that wants to give music a chance because you like good music. I think that's good music. I'll tell you this. This is what I want to talk to you about. You talk about how it's her, one of her most political albums. I didn't even notice that. I was just into the music so much that I wasn't even listening to how political the lyrics might be.
Right. I mean, that's good though, right? I don't know. That's the weird thing about this stuff. Do we want our art to be super reflective of our political environment, or do we want it to escape those things? And I understand both sides of that argument. But I whatever. I just think it's interesting because she came up as like you said, a country girl who then became the cautionary tale for every small town girl. Like, this is what happens when you go to New York. You do cocaine, you become a Taylor Swift. But like, I think that like she's grown a lot, man. It seems really cool to me. That's all I'm saying. And it seems like a conscious decision to kind of maybe shirk a lot of the people that made her famous, like people from the South who may have a difference of political ideology with her. And that's always a big risk. I know that people want to take that away from people, but I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, no, it is cool. Again, that's all I wanted to say. Wasn't gonna go too deep into it. Just letting you know, for a moment, they brought 90s girl pop Corey out for a minute. I used to listen to all that shit. I was almost, I was this close to wearing a sundress with a flower in my ear. Listen to this shit. Okay, so how many Twitch subscribers do we need to get that to happen? That's
None. That shit ain't happening. You will not get the you can Photoshop it, but I'm not giving you the ammunition. You will not get that meme out of me.
I'm just saying we could do a Twitch sings with you with a flower in your ear. I mean, come on, guy. What do you have to lose here?
Flower in my ear? Yeah, I'll do that. That sundress? Okay. No. No. But then we got a 12-hour stream coming up, so you know anything.
You never know. Yeah, we'll put that in the back pocket.